Welcome to the show, Jules. Welcome back to the show, I should say. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while. When did we
Yes,
record last?
we recorded um October like 7th or 8th. It was like the first week of October of 2021.
21.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen you since.
Is
You've been
that
through
when I came through your spot? We
Yeah.
recorded at your studio.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you guys were crashing in the front room.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
still talk to those two all the time. And
Yeah,
someone just brought it up. Yeah.
you and I recorded that. For those who don't know, Jules was on back in October 2021, and in person. One of my I've done like 8 maybe in person interviews, and you were one of them, and one of my first too. And we did at like 4 in the morning. Remember
Yeah.
that? Good. So she knows Jules. She's an early fucking riser. And I helped you. You did a mural, not a big one. You did the flowers
Oh,
over by
yeah.
the police station at like 4.
Yeah.
Which you're
Hell
still
yeah.
there. They're still rocking over there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Good.
they're still there. Oh my god, your artwork around town is so loved.
That's why I love painting in small towns. They really
Yeah.
cherish the work. They treat it correctly.
Yeah, people like take pictures in front of your shit all the time.
Uh, I
Um
can't wait to come back. They were
one of
really
your
cool.
one of your popular ones is the Annie,
Oh
orphan
yeah, that was
orphan
a
Annie
fun
you
one.
did with the muck tats all over her face and shit.
Yeah, that
Over
was fun.
by that was on the
There was a theater, right?
the theater company's wardrobe office. That's where they keep all their. Remember, that's where we went through there. They had all their wardrobes from all their plays and shit in there.
Yeah, they were trying to give me outfits. I was like, I'm on the road. I'm on a painting tour. I can't take the gown. Yeah,
Yeah, they were so nice though. They were awesome.
so nice.
That
Yeah,
was
they
a
were
fun day.
really
We went
cool.
around like for like 12 hours, you and I, all over this
We
little
painted
area.
a bunch of stuff. Yeah, is that when we did the cat too?
Yeah, yeah, you did the cat, you did the punk rock cat, you did that giant one on the side of that hotel, remember?
Oh my God, that was a whole
That
nother
was a
day, I
big
think.
fucking one.
Yeah.
You did the pig on the side of the barn. You did the rainbow flag, but all of it like wavy and shit on the side of
Yeah.
that preschool.
Yeah.
And haven't you done more work for them since you've been back
Oh
too? Did
yeah,
you?
they always have me add stuff.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
And yeah, the orphan Annie and the poppy flowers, I think it was.
Yeah, that was the one we did at 4 a.m. before we
Yeah,
did
that
the
was when we did at
podcast.
4 a.m. And then you did the pink ribbon for my friend's mom who had breast cancer, who was survivor of breast cancer
Yeah.
now. She's in remission from breast cancer.
Oh, that's good news.
So
Yay.
yeah, that was a
So
fun
good.
day. That was and that
So
all
cool.
came up out of nowhere too. Um,
Yeah.
for those who don't know, what is your sober date, Jules?
It's April 1st. That's April Fool's Day, 2013.
Which
So,
I'm
yeah.
I'm so mad, I'm so mad at myself because I I got clean on your sober date in 2024, thinking I got the same sober date as Jules now,
Yeah, we did.
and
We
then
were
I
buddies for a little on that.
and
Yeah.
then I fucked it up with Xanax, man.
Yeah.
My 9-day relapse. You remember yelling at
Yeah.
me in the hospital?
I I think so. I think I was on the phone, right? Was
Yeah,
I on the
we were
phone?
on the phone,
Yeah.
and I was in a hospital bed coming
Oh
off
man.
Xanax, and you were letting me have it.
But you needed a hard reset
Oh, I know.
and you
Yeah,
got one.
yeah,
It's good.
exactly. We've been friends for 7 years now, and when I first met you, it was right around the time you met Kyle, because that's when he got sober.
Yeah, and
And
Kyle's got 8 years now.
yeah,
He just got eight.
2018 is when I met you, and
Yeah.
yeah, I called you and you let me have it, and I knew you would. That's the whole point of our friendship is to support each other, but also, you know, call each other out in our bullshit.
Yep, for
You know,
sure.
not
I
co-signing
know.
this
And I'm
bullshit.
really glad you got fully sober, because it was it was sad for a little, you know, and I was worried, and you know, I'm not the kind of person that will really call people out until they come at me with it, you know,
Yeah.
and when they're ready. I get calls a lot, JD. I got to tell you, I get a lot of calls from friends that got sobriety, got great big lives, and they stop going to meetings, and then they're fine. They're like, "Oh wow, I'm fine. I'm not going to meetings.
Sure.
I don't want to use. I'm doing fine. Everything's good." And then and it's weird. It could be a month, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, no meetings. Meeting once in a while if I need to take a newcomer, blah 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 blah. And then it happens, and I get the call, and they're fucking drunk, you know, at a bar, or they're having an OD, or they're in a motorcycle accident, or something bad eventually happens. And the thing that we think that we don't need recovery when we have recovery is a big misconception. And I hope to be a voice for that, because you're looking at someone I'm 12 years in. I am a hope to die junkie who has not picked up in 12 years. So that alone is a miracle. You know, I'm
Yeah.
knocking on wood. That's a miracle. And that's why I go to AA. You know, I do program, I do all the things for that reason. But on the plus side, what's happened for me is I, you know, came from the gutter, and I now own multiple properties, multiple businesses. I have a gallery that sells my paintings that I used to beg people to give me $3 for from the sidewalk are selling for like 30 grand. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy, you know? And that is purely AA. My talent has not changed from the gutter to the fucking wherever the hell I end up. I'm in my cabin right now in Oregon. We have a ranch here. We have horses. I had nothing at one point in my life. Same person, same amount of talent. What's the difference? I go to fucking program. I go to AA every day. Guess where I drove this morning? I drove down the mountain. I was up at 6. I was doing my writing at 6 a.m. I was reading 2 books, AA and Al-Anon. I was writing out my resentments. I was writing out the set aside prayer. That's the current prayer that I really adhere to, of course, with the 3rd step prayer, but I really write down the set aside prayer every day. And then writing out my resentments, finding my part, asking God to remove that. That takes me about 5 minutes, to be honest with you. 10 minutes with the readings, maybe 15, because I pick up my phone a couple times in between. And then I'm driving down the mountain. I'm at a meeting. I'm at a meeting at the beginning of the day, and normally I'll go to a meeting at the end of the day. If I'm having a bad day, I'll go to a couple meetings at the end of the day. I'll do a 6 and an 8 or something like that. And I've been known to go to 5 meetings a day.
Yeah.
This is 12 years in. It's not like I'm like, get me off the crack, you know? I'm
Yeah.
fine. I don't want to use. I do not want to use. That's why I go to the meetings. And the other reason I go to the meetings is because I have alcoholic thinking. And my thinking can kill me. My thinking, if left to me, can make me want to die.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I hear this a lot from a lot of alcoholics. Once they get sobriety, the default is, if things aren't going good, kill myself. I already know I can't use drugs and alcohol, so I just have to die.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a new solution. But I do have a solution. I have the steps. I have calling other alcoholics, laughing a little bit, even just laughing about whatever problem is freaking me out, you know, until it diffuses it. It takes the importance out of it. We're very fucking dramatic people. I'm very dramatic. Everything feels very intense, which is why I've been a really successful artist. I feel things
Yeah.
very intensely, you know? It works for us. You're able to communicate really well because of how sensitive you are,
Yeah.
and how attuned you are to people and how much you care. And if you didn't have that, there'd be a lot of aspects of you that wouldn't be successful. But
Yeah.
that,
You're right.
you know, it comes with a price tag, man. It comes with the price tag of being this fucking sensitive motherfucker.
Shit, I got
You know?
I got a therapist, I got a psychiatrist, I got a couples therapist, I got a sponsor, I got
I
I
know.
got my
We need
mentors and my
it.
predecessors,
Yeah,
like people that
we
I look
need
up
it.
to and call. Like I remember when I got hurt back in 2021, before all this, January 2021, I got hurt and they gave me they gave me 6 perk 5s.
Ooh.
And that was my drug of choice. And, we were worried. Mikey was worried, my wife, and you were worried. And, we got on the phone together and we decided Mikey would hold the script. And every time I wanted one, she would text you a little emoji of a pill. And I took 4 and then we flushed the other 2. I didn't even take the other 2.
That's so great. And that's how it should be.
Yeah,
And
out of
they
JD, old
always
JD would have been
over.
like, "Give me all them now." I want,
Me too.
yeah,
That shit would have been gone in day one, like
yeah,
hour one. Like if you take them
yeah,
all at once, they work a lot better.
yeah. Now,
But
I don't know. Did I tell you that I quit smoking cigarettes?
oh yay, that's so great.
January
Good.
1st. January 1st.
Congratulations.
I had my
That's a
last
tough
one at
one.
like 1 in the afternoon, January 1st. I'm out there smoking. I'm like, well, it's now or never, and stop that. I even quit drinking coffee.
Oh my God. I did that for a while too. I'm not on that right now. I am drinking coffee now, but I
was
did quit.
well, I had to, Jules. I was at 10 to 14 cups a day.
Yep, that's what happens.
And
Yep.
and wait, where's my cup at? So this is my cup at my work desk. And this much would be creamer. From here to here would be creamer. And this would be coffee.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's like a fucking sugar caffeine rush.
Oh my God. I was going through so many bottles of creamer a week.
Yeah.
Like not sleeping for shit. You know what I mean? And I quit sleep meds when I got clean off everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't do shit anymore. I drink some energy drinks and I'm on a podcast because it gets me talkative. But like I don't do anything anymore. I'm on a diet. I quit coffee, I quit cigarettes, I quit weed, I quit benzos, I quit alcohol. 5.5 years without a drink.
That's great. Yeah, that's good that your relapse didn't
plus without
drink.
opiates.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that your relapse didn't take you all the way to the alcohol too.
Yeah, well, it was a 9-day relapse, and it happened, and nothing I can do about it. It ended because
you're really lucky. It was only 9 days. My relapse
100%.
was 2 years.
Yeah,
I lost my 5 years because I originally got sober May 6th of would have been 2005. I got sober. And I stayed sober 5 years and I accomplished a hell of a lot. I moved to California. I got off the street. I got a little gallery downtown. I did all this fun stuff I had to do. I had everything going on and stopped going to meetings. Totally didn't even make I didn't make a decision. I just stopped going. And you know the story. I got in a bad headspace.
Yep.
And instead of going to AA with my problems, I went to doctors. I got prescribed. By the end, I was on pills that were pretty much the same as the drugs that I did on the street.
Yeah.
And I had a little piece of paper that said it was okay. So I was out like 2 years. At some point, I did figure out that the fucking Adderall, Xanax, and Oxy were poison and fucking me up.
I was gonna say, yeah. What was your cocktail? Because you had like a crazy amount of scripts that you were like.
Well, I had a lot. I was already on a lot of psych meds, which I don't consider that to be my relapse. I was still sober on the psych meds, but then somewhere along the way, I just not able to really be honest with myself. The controlled substances like Adderall, Xanax, and Oxy, and those, though they look the same as a medication, we both know those are drugs and those are controlled substances and they are addictive as fuck.
Yeah.
And that's what happens,
Yeah, the Adderall is dangerous as shit. Xanax put me in a hospital.
Yeah.
And because what happened when I don't know if I even told you my Xanax, what happened was I quit smoking cigarettes and that was November. And I was doing really well with the patch. And I got in my head like I needed a release. I needed an escape. and I had my psychiatrist by the balls. I could just do whatever I wanted with my psychiatrist. I messaged him in the portal. I didn't even see him in person, see him on a video call. I just said, hey, I need something for my anxiety. He said Valium. I said, nope, I abused that before. I need something stronger. He's like, okay, I'll give you 1 milligram Xanax, 90 of them. I said, okay. 5 days later, the script was gone. I said, hey, man, they weren't strong enough. The script is gone. I need something stronger. He goes, okay, I'll give you 92 milligram ones.
Oh my God.
And I went through them. At one point, I did 20 in 12 hours.
If you ask me, that's really irresponsible of the doctor.
Oh, 100%. He's no longer my psychiatrist. I have a new psychiatrist. Don't worry.
I don't know how people think that that's okay.
Yeah.
And Xanax is fucking poison. I don't care who 100%. You are. That does not help anybody. That never has helped anybody. The minute you take a Xanax, even if I took a Xanax for 3 days in a row, the third day, if I stop taking the Xanax, I'm going to have more anxiety than before I started.
100%.
More. So how is that a medication for anxiety when it causes fucking anxiety?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what happened with the Xanax. And, obviously when I started taking the Xanax, I started smoking cigarettes again, the whole, and so I had to quit. And then I ended up what they say, and, I'm in NA now, and they say in NA, jails, institutions, and death. And so I ended up in the hospital for 3 days coming off Xanax. Then I ended up in the psych ward for a 72-hour hold because of possible suicide attempt. And, I get out of the psych ward, and then I was smoking cigarettes, and it was just, nobody was talking to my family because of what I did, and, which I rightly deserved. And, I had to build back trust over time. And I do 2 NA meetings a day. Now I do 1, sometimes 2. I do GA on the weekends because I'm a compulsive gambler. I just celebrated a year without a bet a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations! I have that disease also.
I do. Before I do it out of Vegas. I do a Zoom meeting every Saturday and Sunday based out of Vegas because I figured if anyone can quit gambling, it's people in Vegas. Yeah. So I do that, and I'm in service. I host and I co-host meetings. I host every Thursday. I co-host every Friday. Which dogs are they?
This is Jelly is a big loudmouth. Let me get it.
Stop go ahead.
Why are you making all that noise? Come here. Come on the podcast if you're going to talk so much. Come here. You want to talk? Come here. This is Jelly.
Hey, Jelly.
Yeah,
how old
she's
are you,
my
bud?
youngest. She's like 3. She's my youngest.
She's 3?
Yeah.
How many dogs you got animals out the ass now, don't you, Jules?
There's so many animals, I can't even tell you. I told you I just drove Gus up here last month.
Did you?
Yeah, so he's outside. He's got his area.
So he's living in Oregon now then, which is much better than Cali for Gus.
Oh yeah, he's got dirt and a pool, a pond, and
good.
He's happy. And there's there's 2 ponies. They're like miniature horses, and one of them might be pregnant. There's 2 sheep.
Oh my God.
There's 2 sheep. There's 1 goat, a little baby goat, and then I have a new hypoallergenic horse named Curly, who has curly hair, so that I don't get asthma. And then Kyle has a mama horse who's known as that's what they call a broodmare. All she does is get pregnant. So she's knocked up. Her name's Candy. And then she also has a baby named Maybe. And then there's a blue roan horse named Royal and a big gypsy vanner. That looks like a Clydesdale, with all the hair and the big hoofs. He's really big. And his name is Blue. And he's a painted horse. So he has different colors on him.
You're living the promise. You're living the promise.
It's crazy. I mean, you know what? The promises are in your heart and your soul. And there's days when I still wake up and I'm like, fuck this shit. And I have to go to the book and I have to get on my knees and I have to call my fellows, have to go to a meeting, any kind of meeting. And you know me, I'll go to NA, I'll go to AA, I'll go to MA, I'll go to anything. And it's about community. And I'm not one of these assholes that goes to a meeting and says I'm different. If I'm in NA, I'm an addict. If I'm in AA, I'm an alcoholic. I have no problem. I remember one time I went to a Heroin Anonymous meeting, and they were like, "We identify as snakes." So you would say, "I'm Jules, I'm a snake." I'm like, "Okay, dude, whatever you need, I'm fine." Like, I'm not trying to be special and unique when I'm in a meeting. That's not the place to be special and unique. I can be special and unique out there in the world. I can make special and unique art. I can talk special and unique shit. I can be a special and unique friend. But when I'm in a meeting, I'm not fucking special and I'm not fucking unique. And that was really important for me to understand. I'm just another bozo on the bus. And that made me be right sized. And I have to continue to do that. I don't have bigger problems than anyone. I don't have bigger solution than anyone. I'm the same. And all we have is today, right? So everybody who's in the meeting and everybody who's, sober today, good, we're all the same,
That's I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure the world record for sober time is 24 hours.
That's right.
That's the world record. 24
That's
hours.
Right. All we have is today. And
Yep.
I really feel that because like my recovery doesn't last me longer. I'm so grateful that I'm one of those people that really needs to go to a meeting. Like, thank God this sobriety, I can't forget to go to AA because
Yeah.
I feel it. If I don't hit a meeting, I'm like, if I don't have my fellows to call, if I don't do my writing, I'm fucking uncomfortable. And I have gotten to a point where I'm not okay with being uncomfortable. Yeah. My perception has changed. So things that used to be okay, a little bit of uncomfortability, they're not fucking okay anymore. And I have to do what I need to do. And I got it. Thank God I have the morning routine. Thank God I have the people that call me with their problems. Oh my God. Today, I was about to call my shrink, like I need an emergency session. We need to talk. As I'm picking up my phone, my friend, sober girl, 8 years sober, calls me and she's in tears. And we talk about her problem. Now that fixes me just as much as me calling to whine about my shit to anybody, So I'm so grateful that I have these relationships where people feel like they can call me when they're scared and they're upset, they're freaking out, because it helps all of us. We all help each other. It's a together program.
You taught me that early on. I'll never forget it because it stuck with me for this long. It was and you know how I am with dates and shit. So I was at your house. It was June 12th, 2018. And I know that because it was the anniversary of my best friend's death. And you were tattooing Carpe Diem on my arm because that he had that tattoo on his stomach and I wanted it on my arm to remember him. And it was the first time I had to deal with grieving his death in sobriety, and I didn't know how to do it. And you were like, "Well, does he have any siblings?" And I said, "Yeah, he's got 3 sisters." And you were like, "I bet you one of them could use a phone call. Are you friends with any of them?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm basically friends with all of them." And you said, "Well, reach out to one of them and give them a call and talk to them because I bet you they're hurting too. And by helping them, it'll help you." And I called his youngest sister, and now it's a tradition. I talk to her every year on that day.
Oh,
and tell her great. Stories and shit. And, we, even this past, and what's wild is, that was June 12th, 2018. And that was 6 years since John died. Remember John Johnson's studio you did in my old studio? That was him. And then my dad ended up dying on the same exact day. I woke up June 12th, 2023, grieving John. And then 5 hours later, my dad passed away.
Oh, my God.
So I lost my best friend and my you know how close I was with my dad. You met my dad a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And my dad loved your work.
Yeah, he was so cool.
Came into the office and did the old Roto-Rooter truck.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm looking at his ashes right now. I have his ashes in here, and I have some stuff that he wrote for me, and stuff in his office, and the Tom Brady one, a mucked up Tom Brady you did for Father's Day. I commissioned you for.
Yeah.
My mom gave me that when he passed away because it was in his office. Now I got it in my office. So
Wow.
I got like a whole area to my dad over there,
That's
and it's
great. It's
yeah,
good that you
I
have,
still got
you
him
got to
close.
embrace it. Yeah. I mean, that's I'm so glad that you do that too with your friend's sister. That's so cool. That's really great.
Yeah,
Man.
even yeah, she's awesome. She this past one, it was 2 years with my dad, and I reached out to Liz, her is her name, and we talked for like an hour. I told her stories that she's never heard before. Funny stories. Of me and her brother messing around and getting in trouble, and we were best friends for years and gotten into so much trouble together. And so I told her a bunch of stories, had her laughing, had me laughing, and by helping her get out of her head, it gets me out of my head.
Yeah,
And
totally.
you taught me that
100.
shit, and now it's carried with me every time I grieve over anybody. I think, well, who else could I reach out to help right now? And it's because of that advice you gave me 50 days into being sober, June 12th, 2018. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Thank you. I'm so glad that you do that. I mean, that's great for anyone, never mind sobriety. That's a part of the human thing, right? We all are going to grieve, and we're better off grieving together, right? Yeah, it does help. It definitely helps to tell funny stories and stuff. I mean, these days when people pass, I'm just like, "Good job, man. Good. You did it. You finished the game. That's awesome." And you
Yeah,
get to move on. And I feel like the main thing to worry about is the people that are left behind and the people that don't have that connection in person anymore, and helping them maintain that connection, because energy can't be created or destroyed, right? It's out there. They're out there. People, don't just go away. I've had people very, very close to me die. Nobody recently, thank God. But
yeah,
in the past, I had some horrific deaths very close to me in very scary times. And I realized that they were still there because they were sending me messages and things would happen. And to be honest, I felt taken care of by the people who loved me the most when they were alive. They became more powerful in my life when they passed, and the things that changed. Even like my dog, I had this very special dog when through my going from youth to adulthood, pretty much. I had this dog that saw me through the worst stages of my addiction into sobriety. This little Chihuahua, Tula. If you ever look up the hashtag on Instagram, Tula Muck, you'll see her. And she was awesome. And she was with me like way before social media, before I had a phone. This little Chihuahua lived in my jacket when I slept on the street, when I slept in doorways, and she would protect me when people came near me. And she was violently vicious. Anyone she didn't know, but she could remember about five people. So whoever were the closest five people to me, she remembered.
yeah,
And if they were gone and someone bumped them, she then hated them too. And moved to California with her. She used to protect me in the house there. And then I yeah, I got sober with her. My first whole sobriety was with her, and I relapsed with her. And on my way back into sobriety, she passed away right before I got a year sober. And I had 11 months sober this time around. So, it was like was 2014. And I have the screenshot of my bank account because she was sick and I knew she was going to have some problem. I went to the vet with her. She had been throwing up and she shat blood, and I screenshot my bank account to show people that I needed money. I was like, Tula's sick. My bank account was negative $50. I was like, please help us, please. I don't know what they're going to ask me for. And I gave her to the vet. And I went to I went down to the beach in Venice, and I got the call that she passed away. I didn't think she was going to die. She was safely at the vet. It freaked me out so bad. But and it was one of the hardest things in my early sobriety. But I stayed sober, and I got to tell you, like, since Tula passed, I've never been broke, you know? I think she was like, fuck this shit. She like fucking moved mountains for me because we had struggled together, you know? And she loved me more than anything in the world. And I took care of her. And since she died and became this greater, more cosmic entity with all her love for me, she changed my life. You know, everything started to click. Of course, I also was just coming up on a year sober, but I started to get big jobs. I've never had negative $50 in my bank account again since that day. And since then, I have always had money. I've always been okay. I've always been working. And I think Tula like was just done with me struggling. And she used that love and that energy to make sure that I was taken care of. And yeah, and that's what happens. There's a lot of people that have died in my life too, and I've noticed things that change. My boyfriend passed away when we were both using, and he had been supposedly trying to help me get art shows, and because didn't have a job, and I was like, can you take my portfolio around and try to show it to people? And he had secretly relapsed, and he ended up dying. And about a week after he died, I got a call from a gallery, and they were like, oh, someone just pulled out of this show and we're supposed to have an opening right now, like coming up. Can you do it? And it was one of the places that I had asked him to go. To be honest with you, I don't think he made it there. I don't know if he did, but he made it there after he died. Week after he died, and I get the show at that gallery. Like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Like,
Yeah.
he was out there doing things for me that he didn't have the power to do as a living being. So we don't actually lose them. They get free, and they get bigger, and they get out of their earthly shackles. And it does suck not to be able to have the chat like me and you are chatting right now. But if I want to, I can talk to those people that are gone and those beings that are not with us anytime I want.
That's that's one of the things that drew me to you when I first saw you speak. I was in treatment still. This is again 2018, and I was in treatment, and almost every day they took us to Marina Center for a nooner. Sometimes 26 and Broad in Santa Monica, which I love that meeting personally. But they would take us to Marina Center a lot because it was closer to where we were living in Culver City. So I was there the one day, and you were the speaker, and you talked about your boyfriend that died, that when you were using together. And it made me think of my fiance that died. She was a bipolar schizophrenic alcoholic, who would drink until the voices went away. And, I was an opiate addict. I got high every day, and we co-signed each other's bullshit. I got high, she got drunk. I didn't judge her, she didn't judge me. Us against the world kind of mentality. And until she took her life, and then it was just me. And I felt like nobody would understand that. And then you were speaking about being left alone after your boyfriend died. And I always loved art. I grew up outside of Philly Art Museum, and there's amazing art all around Philly and shit. And I was like, oh shit, she's an artist too. And I kept saying to myself, because you can't have a cell phone in treatment, so I couldn't like type in your name into Instagram or anything. So I had to like remember Muck Rock. And then as soon as like I got phone time that day, I typed it into my Instagram and I followed you. And then when I eventually saw you at a meeting when I was in sober living, and that's when I introduced myself to you. And you were like, well, I do meetings at the house on Saturdays. You can come over there. And that's when we started doing tattoos. And by we, I mean, you started giving me tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was when we just had the meetings on Saturday, huh?
Saturdays at 8. Saturday,
Yeah.
I used to Uber from Culver City to your house. And then we would do the Saturday at 8. And then I would leave there around like 9:30. We would bullshit for a while. And I would start walking. And I would walk from your house to Marina Center for late night.
Yeah.
I'd walk all the way from your house in Venice to Marina del Ray to Marina Center for late night meeting every Saturday.
Yeah, that was
And
good times.
that was my Saturday night. And I loved it. You know, walking through LA, beautiful weather, and I'd have somebody on my phone all the time and my headphones and just like smoke my cigarettes and walk through the city. It's not a walk-in city, but I made it a walk-in city. I walked all
Yeah.
over that bitch.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's funny that now we have a lot going on at that house, and
yeah,
there's
tell me
so
more about
many.
that now that you're on the pod again, because that was brand new back then. So what's going on with what is it called?
So it's called Muck Recovery. We started that house where you had that one meeting Saturday night. We started doing meetings every day, as you know, during the pandemic. We started just going hard, and we ended up making a nonprofit. I moved out. The people pay for the house. The meetings pay for the house. There's a board that makes all the decisions for the house. I'm obviously not even there. The meetings are functioning fucking beautifully. Every now and then there's an issue with somebody or something, but there's
That's why
days when
there's
there's
traditions.
yeah, there's 3 or 4 meetings a day. Some days there's all different. It's like what's today? Tuesday. They
Yeah.
had a 10 a.m. third step meeting, which is a book study. And then they have 6 o'clock is the Rule 62. You would love that meeting. Don't take yourself so seriously.
Yeah.
And they usually have like a pretty funny speaker. And then
You
they
gave
have a
Jill that tattoo when I would
oh
hang out.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Jill was about that. And then they have a young people's meeting at 8. That
Oh,
is,
no
when I
shit.
say
Okay.
young, it is young. Like we are
Okay.
old fogies. There's like 14-year-olds running shit.
No shit.
So,
Really?
oh yeah, it's really
Damn.
cool. So that's Tuesday, and then Wednesday, my favorite morning maintenance meeting. And one of my good friends just took over secretary of that, and she's amazing. And then they have a 6 p.m. hump day, which is a big speaker meeting. It actually turned out to be what I call like a hipster meeting. Like everybody's there from the cool kids, cool cat meetings, and the yard is like overrun. And that's great though, because they rake in the best 7th tradition of the week. And because some of the meetings aren't that pop. I like small meetings, so
Yeah.
some of the meetings are really small and struggle, to make whatever cover themselves. But like the bigger meetings help. So right now, if anyone, I will say, like, we are in the red because we make sure that we have books for people, we have chips for people, we have very fancy creamer, as you like, we have liquid creamer at our meetings. We pride ourselves on that. We have coffee at every meeting. We have snacks. We have, electricity in the house, the rent, gas, everything is paid by the people who come to the meetings. And if anyone wants to contribute to that, muckrecovery.com, you can donate. We are constantly working in the red because we spend more than we make. But we have gotten some pretty cool donations, and we have this little space in Venice that is open to everyone. And to me, it feels like it's the best thing I can do for the place that I love the most. I love Venice. I know there's a lot of chatter around Venice having a lot of homeless and having a lot of crime and all these things, even though it's this beautiful place by the sea. I've never been one of those people that believes we need more police presence and more aggression and more rules and more laws, but I do think that more recovery would help the situation more than anything else. Not that everybody's a drug addict, but like there's enough drug and alcohol problems that it tends to spread like wildfire. Like even if people have other problems, then they fucking end up on meth, and they end up here and they end up there. And I'm also not one of these people that think we have to house everybody. Everyone needs to be housed up. Like I was on the street because I wanted to be on the street, to be honest with you. I did not want to go sit in a fucking little apartment. At the time, I couldn't handle it. And it's unfortunate because there was times when I would have liked to take a shower, but I wasn't able to hold that stuff together. And I think that providing a place for people to go and congregate and feel like a normal person, whether they're homeless, whether they're a trust fund kid, whether they're in a sober living, whether they're a businessman who's whatever, lives in a penthouse, whether they're a housewife, where they can come together and be okay and feel safe and have community, have a meeting, have a coffee. I think that is so important, that they're not hiding what they are or what they're doing, and not ashamed of it, that they can talk about it freely and openly and feel safe. I think that's like the best thing that I can do for the people in the place that I love.
Yeah, I mean, you are Venice. That's, and Venice loves you, and your art and what you've contributed to the city. That's how we got talking the other night. Was, I was doing a podcast with somebody from my home group in NA. My home group is based out of Santa Cruz, up Northern Cali. And I do that 7 nights a week on Zoom. And so I was talking to this guy. He's got, like, at the time, 92, 93 days. And he's from Boston originally, and he's a transient, lived all over the fucking country. And he's like, oh yeah, and then I was homeless, living out of a van in Venice for 2 years. I said, okay. I said, I used to spend a lot of time in Venice, going to meetings. Or you're on 6, right? Where's Muck Recovery? 6? That's what I said. I said I would always hang out on 6th Street. My friend Jules has Muck Recovery. He said, you say Jules Muck? I said, yeah. He said, as in like Muck Rock? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh my God, you know her? I was like, yeah. And he was like, no shit. I'm like, dude, like all over my arm. Like, I was like, it says Muck Rock right down my arm right here. It's like I had her tag my arm. I was like, she's giving me like 20 tattoos, including my wedding ring. And he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, man.
That's so funny.
And then we talked about you for like 10 minutes and how I met you and shit. And he's like, I didn't even know she was even sober. And I was like, yeah. Wow. I was like, she's got like 12 years, dude. It's like, we're all just doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's so awesome to know, because, her artwork, I got kicked out of high school for doing graffiti. So I was a big fan of hers when I lived in Venice and seeing her work all over the city.
Oh, that's cool.
So, town, city, whatever you want to call Venice. But yeah,
that's kind of like why I kept the word muck in the recovery nonprofit. Like I put Muck Recovery in there because we have all this fucking free advertising all over town because of all the murals I've done. And I also think that like it appeals to like the artistic types. And we started focused on creative individuals and how they struggle to go to meetings and to acquiesce to this church basement type of AA and NA, where you feel like you're going to have to normalize. Like my feeling when I got sober was like, I'm not going to be able to be an artist anymore. I'm going to have a 9-to-5 job and a fucking white picket fence, and everything's going to have to be real basic, because how else am I going to be sober? But, me and you both know that's not the way it is, that you can be actually way weirder and kookier and do crazier shit sober than you can using. And, and I feel like having the association with the street art and being on the street, basically, as you know, we do the meetings like right out front of the house, like so anyone can walk up and sit down. And and we do that, like we put it out there for people who are hesitant about joining some kind of a, some kind of a conservative, like, oh, we don't drink, we just, we're in a church, and creative individuals can feel uncomfortable and scared about getting sober. Like that's the bottom line. I mean, I'm sure everyone can, but my heart goes out to people who are scared they're not going to be able to create, they're not going to be able to make their music, they're not going to be able to be themselves if they stop using drugs and alcohol, because that's been such a lubricant for them to not only like express themselves, but also to not be scared to, associate and come around other artists, and they can share a joint and they can have a drink together, and now they get to know that they can be sober together and they can do cooler shit than have a drink, that they can tap into spirituality together and feel this way more connected, more artistic, more creative, centered place by being like in line with a higher power and having that clear channel from the higher power.
What's fucked up is I was doing stand-up comedy in addiction. And when I got sober in 2018, originally, and my recovery, when I entered recovery for the first time, I was like, well, how am I going to be funny? I've been getting drunk and high my entire life that I've been funny. How is this going to look? How's this going to work? And I realized I would have to force myself to talk at podiums, to speak in meetings, to try to make people laugh in a room of other people that were sober. And what's really crazy is I forgot how to laugh until I got sober. I forgot what laughing felt like. You know what I mean? Until I got sober, I'm like, I felt it in my stomach for the first time since I was a kid.
Aww.
I was like, oh my God, that's what a laugh is. You know, I've been faking this shit for 25 years. You know,
Yeah.
you know, like, but
So
you know,
true.
and now I use this platform to find ways to make people laugh, because like some of our stories are really dark and bleak. And it's really hard to kind of lay your head on the pillow at night sometimes, because you're like, well, I did this, that, and the third to stay high and get high for years. And, you know, it's a lot easier when you can relate to somebody else and talk to somebody else and feel less alone.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
well, I'm
you know,
really glad that like we met, we met up, we stayed in touch, and I'm so grateful that you keep having me on the podcast. And I'm so glad that you keep doing this and putting it out there and sending this message, and just sharing yourself.
yeah, I mean, you're episode 250, Jules.
Awesome.
This is episode
Wow.
250.
Damn, you got a lot of talking in you.
You surprised or no?
That's awesome. It's really great that you've been so consistent.
The
So
first
cool.
time I came to one of your meetings, we sat down and you're like, all right, you're speaking. And I said, what? And you said, you're the speaker tonight, read. And I said, okay. And I was the speaker that night.
So cool.
And you know, and yeah, you've been a friend since I fucking met you. All the talks we had, everyone that hated me over the tattoos, because for those who don't know, Jules gave out tattoos all the time in her front yard. Well, he gave me the perfect ones and fucked up everybody else's.
Oh man, every now and then I still tattoo, and I always tell people it's original art. It's not going to be perfect. Progress, not perfection, right?
Yep, that's what's on my arm, and that's what's on the tag right here in the corner of the screen.
That's right. Well,
that was
thanks
my first
again, man. I'm so glad we got to talk.
Yeah, me too. I'll keep you posted. We'll stay in touch as always, Jules.
Yeah, good to see you.
You too.
You have a good rest of the evening.
I will. I'm off tomorrow. I'm off every Wednesday, so I'm going to relax tonight. And
hell yeah.
Just I got NA tomorrow, and I do therapy every Wednesday, and
so good.
NA every Wednesday night, and yep.
Well, stay clean, stay good, and stay in touch.
Hell yeah. I might have to. I host speaker meetings every Thursday night for NA. I might have to have you on a Zoom and be my lead speaker one of these nights, maybe in October.
I'd love to. Sure, right, hit me up.
I'll keep you posted. I'll talk to you soon. All right, love you, Jules.
Have a good night. Love you.
Bye.